as a defensive midfielder. John the Baptist, they used to call him in his days at Bushbucks. And away we go. It is the visitors, Bloemfontein Celtic, who would get us underway. They're in the away strip, the black strip this evening, and of course Kaizer Chiefs in their gold colors. Well, Chiefs will be hoping that their strong record against Celtic will continue. They have not lost to Celtic since 2009. And they have not conceded a goal against them since January of 2011. That is absolutely remarkable. They'll need to build on that record and hope that that is a good omen for them. So it's not been a happy place for Bloemfontein Celtic to come in recent times.
They'll take a little bit of courage from the fact that Matova is returning to that center of defense, because you'll notice in most recent games they'll score goals, they'll take the lead very early for that matter, and they'll later in concede, and which is something I think that has been a really big challenge. Organizationally they've had problems, but they can only hope with the return of the big man in the center, things will stabilize. But going forward still remains one of their biggest challenges as well.
And immediately looking to get on the front foot here. Kaizer Chiefs a chance for a shot, and it's well wide of the target from Maluleka. Goal scoring has been a real problem for Kaizer Chiefs. The two joint leading scorers, George Lebesi and Lorenzo Coutinho. That tells you a story.
And to think that Lorenzo is amongst those, which was the same case last season. Katande ended up being the most goal scorer for Kaizer Chiefs. I think the scoring problems is not only just something that they're going through this season, it has been the case. And even the wins that they will have had coming towards this time of this is where they started dropping points on a regular basis. They were very narrow wins, and it depended a whole lot more on how they defended, which with the absence of Matoko, things just did become a bit of a challenge.
And they'll be very pleased to welcome the big man back to the tower. And he is a tower of strength in the Kaizer Chiefs defense is Mlumonda. Celtic, of course, coming into this match on the back of a draw, a 1-1 draw against their last game against Highlands Park.
And of course, they'll have been encouraged about that massive draw that they should have grabbed all 3 points against SuperSport United with a penalty right at the dead.
Absolutely. And it's this is going to be a patterned game here. You will expect to see Chiefs doing most of the attacking, purely because of the way that Celtic have set up their stall, and also, of course, Kaizer Chiefs being the home team. Now the Celtic with something to offer themselves going forward. This is Thomas Setupe, closed down and put in possession. Chiefs now can break here. Looking to make the break there was Edmo Chirambandare.
There was an off-the-ball incident where I think it was just a clear case of collision. Kativario, who I think collided against a defender. Not that there was anything intentional about it. I'm sure this will maybe give us a clear picture if it's... Great work by Chirambandare, though, who applied a little bit of a pressure, high pressure to win that ball, but then he seems to maybe think about the injured player instead of really opening up the valves and taking the advantage and going forward.
A bit of a knock here, and Kaizer will need to maybe get a bit more treatment off the field. I think it was from that collision that you mentioned there, William, which was, it happened off the ball. Basically collided with the defender. I think just he had eyes for the ball and wasn't looking where he's going. Here is Shabalala. Celtic managed to get it away. And there's a foul as well on Dube.
By Chirambadara, who I think every now and then really gets lost when he's on the ball. Chirambadara, decision making is still a bit of a problem for him. Look, he's got some talent about him, he's got the skill, but decision making clearly is one of those that he needs to really get right very quickly in his game.
They try to just let that one run to Shaba or Maluleka. Corresponding fixture between the two sides last season ended goalless, and Chiefs managing to win 1-0 away from home. And the man who suspended was the goal scorer in that game. Katsande scored a penalty.
And what is very hard is with the great moments Chiefs might have had in previous games, it's difficult to recognize them because actually brought nothing as a positive result. So it's difficult to say they've played some good games. Now to think just how did Dube ends up with his hand into the face when that foot never got anywhere near. Maybe his belly.
This one will go all the way back to Patrick Senior. Out of play on the far side for the Chiefs throw-in. Dion Honto. Celtic will look to him as an outlet, someone with a little bit of pace that can cause problems for any defense at any given time.
Not the quickest of players is George Malulu. He can deliver a pass, but when he has to basically run for any ball played through, and I don't think he's one of those players that you can bank on.
It's not his game.
It's not his game, yeah. But remember, he started as a striker. And
it's in his Ajax days. Then he converted him to a midfield role under Foppa Dahan. To great effect, it must be said. Now, that's a great ball in. It just gets away from George Lebesi. Really quite remarkable how difficult Celtic have found it in matches against Chiefs away from home. Chiefs have won 23 of the 29 matches that they've played against Bloemfontein Celtic, dating back to 1985, and the Pacers have only lost twice at home to Bloem Celtic. What are the odds, William Shongwe, on Celtic changing that dreadful record?
Well, for me to start with, the question is how longer can Chiefs keep losing or not picking up points? And which you do get the feel at some stage to say, look, that's it. That's just about it. The next game, they need something. They deserve something, like I said. As hard as it is to give them a little bit of credit in the good game they've played at times, but because they were not able to maybe hold on to their lead. So, but you get the feel that maybe this one is the one. So is Celtics that improved in their game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
Some might say
a difficult one to call.
As the question was put to Leshono Lesiema by Julius Stewart, is this a good time to play Chiefs or is this a bad time? Methinks that if Chiefs HILAL, this is the time to play them.
But at the same time, you know that they can't do any worse. So for me, it's the question is they're due to bounce back. They're due for a win.
That last win coming against ASEC Cape Town at home. The 15th of October. Followed that up.
Here's something that may be a bit of a bone for you to chew as well. STADE, I think they just want to build up always from the back. And sometimes that doesn't quite help because they don't get the ball into the attacking third quick enough or more often to create moments where they can trouble the team. We're already into the 11th minute. There hasn't been a single shot.
So you'd like to see them be a little bit more direct and mix it up.
Every now and then. Yes.
Which is difficult because they're not really playing with a target man as well.
But then at least
a focal point in terms of their attack.
A little bit of the wide players. I mean, you look at Cape Town City, they're not playing with much of a target man either, but they're using quite a bit of the wing play, and they've got quick players there. I think Chiramadare has got some pace about him. George has got some pace about him. So you've got a little bit of class in those wide areas, but I don't think they're sending those balls quick enough to set these players on the front foot.
Daniel Cardoso in your shot there has been penalized. His 5th start of the season. Back-to-back matches for him. Of course, in the absence of Spusiso Kumano. Let's see what Otto can do with this one now for Celtic. Not the best ball in.
And you talk about Spusiso Kumano's injury, but there's also Masilela who's also injured. They're featured in that position.
See what the Celtic can come up with an Alfred Ndengane on the ball. Intercepted there by Cardoso. Space now for Rama, Pasele, Baloy plays it with Shabalala, tries the little ball over the top, and Dingev made a mess of it, could be punished. Oh my goodness. That sums up Kaizer Chiefs for you at the moment. Keeper all at sea, a little bit of composure.
That's all he needed. Because he realized that the keeper was away. He makes a decent turnaround, and I think he actually even looks up towards goal. And there wasn't enough pressure to think that he fluffs it completely.
And he falls as he takes the shot. That, as I said, that's Katsvairo there. It just really sums up where they are as a team at the moment, Kaizer Chiefs. Just the one goal in his 11 appearances so far this season for Kaizer Chiefs. Mitchell Katsvairo, one of the two men from Chicken Inn, and we're gonna have a caution for Matoa, early one. Elsewhere we have a goal. Highlands Park have taken the lead against ASEC Cape Town. So that will be something of concern for Kaizer Chiefs there. Matoho getting the early booking.
And I'm not too sure exactly what Matoho had done so wrong to actually deserve a booking. A foul, I understand, but because I think they clearly was just caught for pace.
Maybe a bit of a harsh call to go for the book, especially so early. Would he have fouled before? I don't imagine he had, because referee usually will give you a warning before giving you a caution. But anyway, they've given away a free kick in a dangerous position of Kaizer Chiefs. Otto again would be favored for this one with his left boot.
Sporting a new hairstyle. That whitish pitch.
Let's see whether they can make it count this time. The last effort was a bit disappointing. The dummy, Otto goes for goal. The wall does its job, but it's at the expense of a corner. Daniel Cardoso, we've yet to see from him the kind of form and quality that so Steve Kopena bringing him in from Free State Stars. Oh. This was a good ball in as well there. Chiefs defensively were not the most convincing there.
Not at all. And I think the goalkeeper as well was caught in no man's land where he comes out, but there's quite a big crowd in front of him. And if you commit that early and the ball is dropping in front of you, sometimes you get caught.
Joma Ruping was the man who tried to get his head on that one. Of course, have a bit of confidence about him, having scored against Highlands Park. Speaking of Highlands Park, as I said, they have the lead in Cape Town against Ajax Cape Town. Oh, look at how far that Kuzayo came out. Lindogo Thembata, by the way, was the goal scorer for Highlands Park. That's his second goal of the season, having scored that absolute corker against Orlando Pirates.
Kuzayo gets exposed here. He has to come out because he's a long way off his goal line. And his defenders not giving him any form of cover. Does well because he could have maybe attempted to use his hand, but in the process he knocks out Azuma cold. Great decision. Also presence of mind to realize that he can't play it with his hands.
And we know it takes some doing to knock out Zuma cold. And I am talking about football. Dumsane Zuma there, back on his feet.
I know where you're going.
We'll leave it right there. 5 matches underway, by the way, this evening, in addition to the 2 that we had last night for you. And it's scoreless all around the country, barring the game at the Makulong Stadium, where Lindo Thembata has put Highlands Park in the lead. We have yet to get a sniff on goal in this particular game. Shabalala. Good work here from Shabalala. Now space opening up down the right-hand side for Ramam Patele. Gets the cross in. A little bit high there. Cardoso.
To look at that situation, surely they need a target man.
Absolutely.
They need a man with a little bit of aerial presence. That ball was hanging nicely for somebody to just come in and stick it into the net.
I'm thinking Lewis Macha would have been an option in that area there when he's on the bench. Ball in from Cardoso. Keeper came and then got better of it. And what is that from Lebesi? Chance for a shot! First real shot in the anger. First real attempt on goal. Meaningful attempt what Lebisi was doing there, I'm not entirely sure. He gets away with it. And then it's Baloy that tries his luck from a long way out, but not so lucky.
Normally when the player skews the shot from this situation, you start maybe looking at what would have done better in as far as technique is concerned. They tried it with the laces, which is the right way to go about it. But, clearly just a case of being unlucky that it didn't quite go accordingly.
Yep, you extract maximum power when you put the laces through it.
And as you always know, with a bit of power, the direction tends to...
You sacrifice control.
Yes.
20 minutes played at the FNB Stadium. Still no goals to report. And as yet, neither keeper has been called upon. Musa Nyatama. Due. It's good control there from Dion Hotto. What a great job he did there. And then he follows it up with that.
A little bit selfish to think of his angle first to start, and also to think that maybe there are other options in as far as playing it into the far post. A bit more control for a player of his ability. He's got that about him where he can take on one or two. I thought that was a moment.
Yeah, and it was definitely on there for him to have a goal. And he chose, in terms of taking players on, and instead he chose to try something adventurous. A long, long way out. Shawalan, skipper for the evening. Space again from Mphahlele. Or that's Matoo. Now Mphahlele. Swapping passes with Lebisi. The idea was a good one there. Just trying to thread it through.
Here's the thing, Katbario is not the biggest of strikers, so I think playing it to feet, you're asking for a lot too much from him. And the one way that maybe can use him better is to try and play it over the defensive line. But Celtics has kept a very deep line. They're not playing high at all. Anything that goes beyond that defensive line goes all the way to the keeper. That, I think, is the challenge that Kaizer are facing right now.
Foul on Zuma. George Lebisi in a desperate bid to get the ball back. Fouls the young man. Not a bad turnout as well. I mean, you wouldn't guess it by looking around, but of course, this is the FNB Stadium, which tends to swallow a crowd. I mean, talking about a capacity touching on 90,000 here, so even when you've got a good crowd of like 10,000 here, you can barely feel it or see it. Don't know if I would put it up as high as 10,000, but I would say it's not a bad turnout for. There's still a little bit of belief amongst the Chiefs fans in spite of their recent troubles. Could be problems here for Chiefs now. They recover well though. They're just outnumbered with Celtic in their attack, and I think that's going to be a feature of the game, is they're not going to be able to get much numbers in the box. So the ball will just keep coming right back at them.
And you got Nyon as well. Yes, he's quick, but in isolation, it's not the best position for him to apply himself. He's one of those as well that will look to have the ball played behind the defense line where he can run. He's got the pace to do so.
Here they come now, in a chance to shoot from in speculation, and rather ambitious one from Ndengani there. Mentioned Atusayo Nyondo, just a one goal for him this campaign.
He's one of those that is still working his way to full fitness. Arrived with an injury, never really had a decent pre-season.
It's a great ball out wide now. Patele can do something here. Tries to get around Spusiso Mkoyana, and successfully so. Nyatama. Otto turning up the heat a little bit. And the Dube's ball in is dealt with by Matoho. You can call him Matawa if you like. Tengani. Flags up for offside against Thomas Dube.
Oh, that call.
Oh, it's a tight one. My goodness, I don't know. But yeah, well, if you still say, I don't know, on the replay, then I think you can certainly cut the referee's assistant, Johannes Mushidi, a little bit of slack. He only had one look at it. Shabalala. It's a great run here from Shabalala. Great football from Chiefs, but the build-up looked good, and they've got a corner for it as well.
Those are moments, if you really want to create a moment. If you attack with speed of that nature, it really keeps the defenders guessing. It's difficult when the players on the front foot at that speed. Any touch you bring him down, it's danger. This is what Shabalala did. The Chiefs are not doing enough of this. Maybe George should have had a second touch and thought about turning around.
They've got a corner. George Maluleka will put this one in. Hear the shout of push up from the Celtic defense. You see there. It's a good ball from Shabalala. Where's that target man you're looking for again? Was Lorenzo Coutinho at the end of that? Still a chance for Chiefs. Corner. A good little passage there for Kaizer Chiefs. As Mpoma Rupin is down.
Did well, Mpoma Rupin. He was facing his own goal. Those are the most difficult balls to be able to defend. And it was brilliant. Shabalala delivers as he used to do with his left in the pass. There's definitely quality there.
But no real control. In fact, he did so well, as you say, facing his own goal. That could easily have gone horribly wrong. Chiefs have the free kick. Quickly taken. Getting the cross in, but easy for TM.
Great passage of play for Kaizer Chiefs. For a moment, they really had Celtic on the back foot, but now are they able to sustain that?
Probably the best passage of play we've seen in the game from either side. Dion Hotto. Good ball from Hotto and a good idea. Well read by the Chiefs defense. Referee will stop play here while Patrick Tingem requires a little bit of treatment. Will give us an opportunity to reflect on what we've seen here in this first half hour as we are into the 30th minute of the game. What are the notes that will Lefonolo Siema be making there, William?
Well, I think to start with, I think they haven't given much in as far as openings to Kaizer Chiefs, except for this maybe last 5 minutes where Chiefs looked a little bit more on the front foot. But I think as far as control of that middle, they've looked good. And Dengane alongside Maruping. They've been as they have in the past, but it's the link going forward now where maybe Nyatamas will come up a bit more.
Looks as if Tenyev has got an issue with his hamstring there, just judging by what he's how he goes down. I'm not quite sure whether he did it before he put the ball out into touch, or was it him kicking the ball out, or Fancy was doing that to get some attention or to allow treatment. But no worries, because he's up and running again. He's the Celtic #1. He's also the captain these days.
Well, I remember one moment early on in the season, I think about a month or so back, they were down in PE playing against Jeeper under a lot of pressure, and Tenyev had to play his part in making sure that they walked away with a point, whereby he faked a number of injuries, and which didn't please
Malisela at all. He was not happy, and he made it known. And then, of course, TM did admit that it was time-wasting tactics.
Yes.
Don't know if you want to admit that sort of thing on national TV. Referees might hold it against you. The next time you're genuinely injured, they might just book you for time-wasting.
But surely you wouldn't be maybe starting to wind down the clock so early in the first half of that.
Well, listen, the rule doesn't say, by the way, that it's time wasted. It says you are delaying the restart of play. So you can do that at any point in the game. What your intentions are is a different matter altogether, or what your motive is for delaying the restart is a different matter altogether. And that is not taken into account what the clock says. Zuma's done well to keep this in play, but beautiful tackle from Mama Pakere, but he couldn't keep it in play. Former Sundowns man, of course, his former teammates will now be preparing to make their way back after, shall we say, being humbled at the FIFA Club World Cup. It's a first visit there, so I think there were lessons learned.
Lots of lessons.
Yeah, I tell you that the intensity with which particularly the Japanese side played was something to behold. And the shot there is a little bit wild and wide as well. So yeah, I think it's all part of a learning curve. They can come back here and refocus now on catching up this backlog of games that they've now developed in the process, Mamelodi Sundowns. See the attempt and goal, 6-3, but none of them have been on target. A little bit deceptive as well to see on how many that it says there's 6 to Celtic. Quite a few of them have been well off the target. I mean, it's a good little turn and a good little run as well, and finds the target. And finally get a shot on target, and it was Chirabandari. It's a great turn from him. Spins off the defender into the inside. I thought maybe he might run into traffic, but still managed to line the ball into his left foot. And once again, I don't think he got the requisite power to beat Tenyev from that range. But you know what? It's effort in the right direction. At least there's a shot on target. For me, my point, I'm sure it'll make a bit more sense to whoever is listening. To say, if you're not playing into that taking third on a regular base, the chance for you to eventually find the one shot that matters, it's going to take even longer. So Chiefs, as you might expect, enjoying quite a huge chunk of the possession.
Dingani trying to get Baloyi booked.
Now, Chiefs seem to run out of ideas there. Cardoso wins it back. Matoho to Patlele. Minutes to go to half-time. Shabalala looks to go on another run, but runs into traffic. Again, both sides not able to keep the ball for any meaningful period. You know, it's like 2 touches and it's gone. Onside here for Hotto. No one in the box.
Yeah, the ball possession turnover is a little bit on the high side from both sides for that matter. It's not like they're pressing one another with that intensity. It's just ball
just sloppy
wayward. Yeah. Much better from Katvari.
Shabalala. Wide to George Libesi. Libesi teasing his marker, Spusiso Koyana, and he gets the corner. Yep, organizing things in front of him there. This is where Chiefs can be dangerous with the likes of Coutinho, Matoho. They're always a threat from set pieces. Cardoso himself with no slouch. That was not the best delivery. I'm sure that's not where Matoho and Coutinho were looking for it.
You know what, when you're trying to recycle the ball defensively, which is what Kaizer are trying to do, but the pace with which it's happening, it's a bit too slow, because the only reason to that is you're trying to shift the team in front of you from one side to the other so that maybe you can come up with a diagonal. But if it's done at a slow pace, it's easy for the opposition. They don't really have to be challenged much in as far as scattering around, losing position.
Here come Celtic now looking to build something. Zuma cuts inside and then gives it away. Chiramandar. Shabalala. And there you go again, another sloppy pass. Daniel Cardoso. That's Fairo. Nice ball into the box. Half cleared. This will now come back to Patrick Tignev. Player down for Kaizer Chiefs. George Libesi it is. Kumbela just getting the word here. We're about to see a change just before the break here. I wonder whether there's an indication of a serious injury here, William Shongwe. Doesn't look good here for George Lebesi.
And here's the other challenge that Kaizer Chiefs had. Maybe told you when we were off air to say that Kaizer Chiefs are playing with 3 attacking left-footed players, which means that that wide right of the attack really wasn't functioning, whether it was reserved for Mphahlele to make the runs forward.
There's the hospital ward that Steve Kombela was talking about. Mangele, Shaba, and of course
Shaka Zulu as well.
Zulu and Masilela. So it's George Lebesi that's not going to be able to carry on here, and that is forced. That's going to force an early change, and it's Joseph Mulangwane who comes on for Kaizer Chiefs. The recent acquisition from Chippa United, the fella they like to call tight. And he's another, as you say now, they're a bit lopsided. They were a bit lopsided, but he'll be able to give something down the right-hand side there, William.
And clearly, if there's one place or position that he knows very well, is to hawk the touchline, and 1v1 situation with the fullback. He's the best at it, and only challenge about him is his fitness levels, whether they'll be at the right place. Maybe right now, that's why they can't start him, but I'm sure he's just about ready to come in around this time.
Making his second appearance for Kaizer Chiefs is Manwani, having made his debut appearance in that 3-1 defeat against Chippa United, his former club.
And along the players you saw in the stands, you saw Extend as well, the crowd favorite, whatever has happened to him.
No ball in there. Mulumani getting on to the end of it, but didn't really control. Something on here for Chiefs. The end product again missing.
Got the crowd excited is Baloy. Yes, maybe the end result wasn't what they expected, but I like his courage. There's not too many of this kind of movement. The Soul Shabalala coming up with one. Looked very positive.
Mulumani, well traveled now. Started, of course, at Platinum Stars, was there for a good 4 seasons. Went off to Amazulu, had a little stint at Orlando Pirates, and now here he is with the other Soweto Giants. Only made a total of 6 appearances for Orlando Pirates the time he was there.
I think it's Steve Kombela that gave him a break when he made his debut in the PSL.
Platinum Stars.
Yeah, Platinum Stars.
So he's a player he knows very well. Had a very good time as well out at Chippa United. We'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time. That's the communication from Victor Gomes. And it's a bit of a dry night in terms of goals. We had 7 goals in 2 matches last night. Tonight, just 1 game, 1 goal in 5. That's the one in the Makulong Stadium. Scoreless. The other games, Polokwane City 0, Chippa United 0, Golden Arrows 0, Bidvest 0, Free State Stars 0, Baroka 0. Godinho. George Maluleka with a long one over the top. Finds Mphahlele, heavy first touch. This is good football from Chiefs. Lots of black jerseys behind the ball, though. Difficult to break down. That's going to be a challenge for Kaizer Chiefs. Celtic are defending in numbers.
Which is why every time you see an individual run, a sort of run like the one we saw from Shabalala and also Baloy, It looks good. Otherwise, from a combination, it looks very difficult because clearly the numbers are very high for Celtics behind the ball.
Does it qualify as a bus? Confirmation then of the 2 stoppages, 2 minutes of stoppage time. I was saying, does it qualify as a bus being parked?
No, not quite. Because when they do have the ball, they do unlock and try to make a game out of it. But I think with Chiefs' slow build-ups, it allows Celtic team or the rest of the team to basically run to get behind the action, which is my problem I mentioned earlier on. They're not quick enough on the front foot, Kaizer Chiefs.
Horto. And Celtic good to get on the front foot here. Well, even if it were the case that Celtic are parking the bus, it is still a perfectly legal football tactic.
It is allowed.
It is still allowed. It's a responsibility of the other team to try and find a way around that bus or through the bus. Here they come again. As we approach half-time here at the FNB Stadium, a chance for Chiefs maybe snatch a lead before the break. Dube gets it away. There'll be no support though for Zuma, but he draws the foul. Lorenzo Coutinho. Strong Portuguese connection out there. Daniel Cardoso, Lorenzo Coutinho, and our 4th official, Victor Gomes, Remarks, floor manager.
And I guess for Kaizer, you can go way back in as far as that line of players from that origin.
Yeah, true that. Would you be thinking about jingles?
Yes, Mama Gaspongile.
That name is one that the jury's still out on. How do you end up with a name like Mama Spongile? Spongile is mom. It's half time on that note here, by the way, at FNB Stadium. Well, first half that provided very little to talk about, truth be told. Chiefs with a lot of possession, yes, and a lot of nice build-up, nice interpassing, but Celtic have been resolute at the back. They've kept things very tight and not. As we have a look at Ndengane there, midfield strongman. It's going to be Chiefs to get us underway at the start of the second half. Now attacking the goal to the right of your picture. Chiefs in free kick given the way of Chiefs here. Quickly taken. Chiefs is in 7th position in the log at the moment, and Celtic in the 13th. An opportunity for Celtic, if they can get something out of this game, they can move up the table. With Ajax last we're hearing losing, even a point would take Celtic level on points with them and maybe into 13th, into 12th position. For Kaizer Chiefs, a win would move them as high as, possibly as high as 3rd position, where Bidvest currently sit. Remember, always want to hear your thoughts on the game and how as it unfolds. Thanks to the magic of social media, we can now communicate with you, and it can be two-way, not just one way, us talking at you, and the Twitter provides us with that platform. Use the hashtag SSDisky. Yeah, in fact, Chiefs with a win here will go into 3rd position, leapfrogging Bidvest because of their superior goal difference. That's Chiefs' superior goal difference. Last meeting at this venue between these two game sides ended 0-0, so we could have a potential scoreless draw again here. The ways Celtic have set up their stall, and the way Chiefs have also found it difficult to break them down.
Well, with the way things are presented, in as far as Kaizer is concerned, you'll think they're rock bottom in the log. To think that a win will take them that high. The thing is about them, it's just that it's the length of time it has taken them to grab all 3 points. The point that have been peaking along the way from draws, you know, has really helped them to stay within touch of the leaders.
Yeah, those, I mean, you turn those draws into wins and you've got a completely different picture from a Chiefs point of view. 5 draws that they've had, and they've lost 3 times. Unbeaten at home, by the way. Their record at home reads played 6, won 2, lost, drew 4, lost none. It's a good cutback here. Something for Nyatama. Still Nyatama! Straight at Kuzwai. But that's about the closest we've seen Celtic come to go this whole evening.
Well, does well Manyama. Pulls it into his weaker foot and still delivers a decent shot. And with the conditions the way they are, it's always a bit of a challenge for a goalkeeper to deal with balls that hits the ground before getting to him.
Musa Nyatama looking for what would have been his second goal of the season if he had managed to get it past Kuzwayo. Talking about the home record of Chiefs, on the flip side, the Celtic on the road have 1 win and 3 draws, so a total of 4 points that they've collected from 5 home away matches, and they've only lost once on the road. It's not bad at all. Kaizer Chiefs are preparing Bernard Parker, and word is that Kazvairo will make way. That's Kazvairo. This is a good movement again from Chiefs. Lots of nice intricate passes, trying to dribble their way past that wall, that black wall that is a Celtic defense at the moment.
It can only come from great combinations like this. George Malulega and Chabalala, of course, trying to really open up this defense with great success, except for that shot right at the end of that whole move from Chabalala.
So the referee is going to allow the change to happen now, and off goes Kazvairo. Not much offered by him in the first half, so gonna try something different. Is Steve Compella. On comes Bernard Parker. Just the 1 goal for Parker this season, as he comes on for his 9th appearance of the season off the bench, for a total of 10 appearances. 30-year-old Bernard Parker. Beg your pardon, Bernard Parker has yet to find the net this season. So no, he hasn't scored yet in his 9 appearances. So I don't know whether he is... they would expect him to be a likely source of a goal. But it's a bit of a dry spell that he's enjoying at the moment, or not enjoying. Good turn here now. Where is the support? Good ball wide. Need something into the box here, but Baloy unable to get past Dube. Good work from Dube.
Ciro Madara, decision making. I think he had enough time to be able to ping that ball at some stage, but once again, once he lost that opportunity, it was harder for him to try and get around to doing it.
Yeah, good work from a defender as well, though. Elsewhere, Ajax Cape Town have equalized against Highlands Park. It is now 1-0 at the Makulong Stadium. No goals as well in the other matches, so the other 3 other matches. That's a yellow card. Goes to, is it Maruping that was booked there? Second player booked by Lwandile Mfiki. The other player that went into the book was Mulomwanda Mato in the first half. Free kick for Kaizer Chiefs. Shababullah try and pick out the big man up front there. Lorenzo Coutinho, Mato, Cardoso. Glancing header! Oh, what a save! Patrick Tingem at his best. That is an awesome save.
I understand where you come from. When the ball is dropping the way it was doing from the header, I mean, it's the most difficult save for any goalkeeper because he's on the goal line. That's what makes it even more difficult. You can maybe get attached to it, but to get it up like it did over the crossbar, that's unbelievable.
Great ball whipped in by Shabalala for the tower to rise. Tingem again coming, flaps at it. Doesn't make strong contact. Celtic struggling to clear their lines, and then a complete miscue there leads to another corner. And well, that's about as close as Kaizer Chiefs have got to goal as well. Corner again. This time it's easy for Tingem. Tries to go route 1, only Zuma upfield for Celtic that occasion. Manuman, Shabalal. George Malube. Dube puts good pressure on the man on the ball. Have forced Chiefs backwards here now of Celtic. Again, getting lots of men behind the ball.
A lot better for Kaizer Chiefs, playing like the home team, a bit more on the front foot. Look at the yellow shirts, and they are taking third, which was my biggest concern, that even when they do have the ball, they're not pushing these bodies to where they can create things. At least now they're drawing the actions a little bit higher, which gives them the opportunity to cause those set pieces in their favor.
Well, Celtic aren't doing themselves any favors as well by giving away all these set pieces in this area. We've seen that that's where Chiefs have looked the most dangerous, when they get the balls into their big men. It'll be Shabalala again to give him something to work with. Keeper's ball.
Overcooked a little bit, this one. All the way to the far post. Unfortunately, there wasn't much as far as yellow shirts or gold and black shirts to be able to just give a little bit of a tough time for Tingem.
That's a strange slip there for Ndengani. That was right, another odd. And there could be problems here as well. Parker. Manulega finds Parker again. Tingem, collision there. But he's quickly up on his feet with Charamandara checking that one. Well kept in play here for Celtic. It's a good strong run, but good cover defense there coming from Coutinho. Well, it's raining goals at the Makulong Stadium. Highlands Park have gone back in front after Ajax had equalized. It's now 2-1 to Highlands Park.
Great run by Hote as he picks up the ball. Somehow he manages to keep it in the field. But that last touch, maybe that ball straying a little bit too far. Corino taking the opportunity to just get across and blocks him. those are great moments for Celtics, which if you think about Porto's ability to go on that front foot, given the space in front of him, can head Chiefs.
George Maluleka, Spiwa Shawala, Simpiwa Shawala, Chiramandara, player down is there, George Maluleka. And the decision has gone against him, and he's going to be booked as well when he gets up. But the free kick for the second time in the second half goes to the book, and George Maluleka is the latest to get his name taken down. He's not happy with that decision. Here come Chiefs again now from Pasel. It's a good football here, a great combination. Oh, couldn't get that ball fast past the first marker. Almost a beautiful ball threaded through here, but again, Celtic doing well defensively. So just about 60 minutes of football played. The hour mark upon us. Still no goals in this game, and for all the endeavor, Chiefs very little to show for it, or nothing at all to show for it. They've conceded a corner now, have Chiefs.
And it's one of those games that should it remain, or should the scoreline remain what it is, Celtics will always give themselves that, or have that small hope that they might just grab an odd goal right at the death, which will be disastrous for Kaizer. I think that's the same approach they had against SuperSport as well. We're just hoping as long as SuperSport doesn't score, we might just catch something, and they nearly did.
Well, here they are now with a rare opportunity to cause problems here, or to give Kuzwa something to think about. The praise goes to Tawa. He got the touch. That's got the ball away for a throw-in. Now, what we're getting from Makulong is that second goal has been scored by Tapua Kapini. I'm not sure if it was a penalty or what the circumstances of that goal is. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it only being a penalty. Well, these days you can't assume that it was a penalty, William Shongwe. Have you heard of Oscar Reed? Masuluke?
Well,
he's a legendary, world-famous goal scorer, is Masuluke. As Fiston Abdul Razak comes on for Celtic, and maybe this is Slonola Siema and John Matuga thinking, hang on, maybe we might just be able to snatch something from here. And so they've gone positive in with the change that they've made. Bringing on an attacking player, the Burundi international Fiston Abdul Razak. He's making his 8th appearance of the season, has 1 goal to his name.
I think what you...
Could be something on here. Man goes down. What is the signal? Is that a penalty he's signaling for? Or is he saying goal kick? In which case Manowani should go into the book. Unless the decision is that he wasn't looking for a penalty, he just fell. What happens here? Does he get caught by Sankara? They look like there was a slightest contact. Yeah, he catches him there on the back foot there.
It's just that maybe Malangani makes a meal of it, trying to convince.
If that's the case,
then it
why
should have been a yellow.
booked? Yeah.
But maybe considering that there was contact of some sort.
Yeah. Shabalala just couldn't wrap that left boot around that one.
The introduction of Razak, for me, not merely for Celtics to create moments to score as such, but as a player that is known and he attracts attention with the movement of Chiefs defenders playing a bit more on the front foot. When you introduce an attacking player, it does create a situation whereby the team says, oh, okay, hold it a little bit. And it's just a way of just helping to slow down the Kaizer Chiefs to think in a more forward position in consideration of Razak.
There's 1 goal that he's got this season. Came against Platinum Stars in a 1-0 win. And that was back in the middle of October. Just over 25 minutes remaining. Again, it's back to walking pace. Now the Tower looking to inject a little bit of pace. Msila and the rest of Siwele Lesomasele. Now have a look at this, William Shongwe.
Oh, I'm threatened.
Your job is on the line. As you can see, Ubawan is very clear about what he wants. He doesn't say I want to be a commentator. He doesn't say I want to be a presenter. He says I want to be an analyst. So look out, Shongwe.
Like I said, you know, I hope this doesn't get to our bosses. This footage.
People have been known to find jobs like that these days. By the way, here's Fiston Abdul Razak. The man there with the rather interesting hairdo.
Well, for Bongane, he is welcome. The more the merrier. It is obviously.
Open up the industry.
Yeah.
Asakilela. 24 to go in terms of time. But looking at the 2 benches, our Kaizer Chiefs have already made 2 changes, by the way, with Parker and Manowani. Manowani, the early change to replace the injured George Libisi. So there's only one more option, one more card that Steve Kobela can play. Chirabandare manages to get a 10 shot on goal, but not in a place that could trouble Patrick Tingem.
There's also a chance for Masugu Ketwaka that he's For some reasons, I don't think he's been used like on a full-time base, but he's used in patches, in time to come in a little bit late to impact the game. And I think from what I've seen in the past, he's done well. He's actually helped raise the game for the team to another level where they look like they can score. But that penalty means...
Yes, I wonder what that would have done with to his head.
Yeah.
That can mess with your head, that kind of thing. What scheme was that? Was it against Supersport?
I think it was against Maritzburg United. One of the first few games of the season.
It was a lot more recent than that. To the path of Cardoso, looking to push forward here, just comes off his shoelaces there, and it's gone behind. They couldn't control it there, Cardoso.
Oh, you mean the penalty miss? Yes, it was against Supersport. Yes,
it was against Supersport.
Yeah. Right at the end.
That would have given them the points. Maximum points, that is. It's not a bad looking ball there. To get it through, and Abdurazak now, but good awareness there from Kuzwayo to get off his line quickly. So here's a change that you were talking about. Ketawake Masugu. He's going to replace Dion Otto,
who for some reason hasn't found the form that we know he can produce.
He was very disappointing tonight, very quiet.
Throughout the season, TT, not only in this game, let me tell you, he's a shade of himself, if I may put it.
Yeah, a shade of the man he was at Arrows, as Masugu checks in for his 6th appearance of the season. The former Orlando Pirates man was with Royal Eagles in the NFG last season, getting another crack at the big time of the Premiership. Celtic will have a chance to break here now. Cutting inside. Dengane was just winding himself up there for the shot, but was pickpocketed. Here he is again, Dengane. Nyataba. Celtic looking to keep possession. Yeah, just exchanging passes nicely. Well, we're getting goals from everywhere else around the country. Free State Stars have taken the lead against at home to Baroka FC.
Cleverly done by Mpatel. I think he had lost that ball. And somehow there was the slightest of contact, and he took full advantage.
More good work defensively from Celtic there, from Wandisile Letabika. Rushed it there, did Masugu, but he's got the corner. He's, of course, played in many battles at this ground. Well, maybe not that many, but it's featured in the derby. So big Soweto derby for Orlando Pirates, and his time with Orlando Pirates, Ketawake Masugu. Man, they call Spanner. He's a bag of tricks when you give him time. Likes to turn it on every now and again for the crowd.
Out! Out! Get out! Get out!
Letlabiga. Was he caught late there? Anyway, he's back on his feet. One decision, Letlabiga.
Hasn't found his range, Malamani. I don't remember him taking one defender.
No, not yet.
For his kind of game, which he does all the time when it's full fitness.
Well, see it's starting to rain a little bit out there. Won't bother them. They're in the cover there of the executive suite here at the FNB Stadium. So it could also make things a little bit interesting as well. As the ball skids off the surface, mistakes can also creep in.
Stray passes, tackles.
Parker. Shabalala came at him at a rate of knots. Here's Malungwane. Teasing his marker, gets the free kick. Oyana is going to go into the book as well.
That's more like Malungwane. That's his kind of game. And like I was saying, I haven't seen him take one defender. And this is how he basically is able to create things for his team.
Yeah, that's what he does well. And forces the mistake from the defender, forces the foul. He's a difficult customer to deal with when he comes at you. At pace, very tricky. Fancy, he's got nimble feet. There's Joseph tight. Mulangwane.
Well, Maruping seems to be having problems down, and the medical team has indicated that he needs to be substituted.
Well, fortunately for them, they still do have one more change that they can make. What happens to Maruping there?
He twisted his ankle. That's what it looks like to me. Just before he jumps, it seems to twist, or is it his knee or something? But something suddenly happened just before he made the jump.
There isn't a player standing by as yet to come on for Celtic. Don't forget magazine shows. TNL tomorrow, Thursday Night Live with Robert Marawa, and then on Friday night, Friday we have the NFT show, and then of course Cape Town City Super Sport United live match on Friday night, as we see that attempt from George Maluleka, rather casual, and in the end puts it well off target. Quarter of an hour remaining in this game. Celtic are going to have to make that change because Maruping won't be able to carry on. So final change here, and it's Vusi Shikweni. Vusi Shikweni, a real ball player, and he's got a great passing range as well, does Shikweni. So he's not a player in the mold of Paul Maruping.
Which could help a little bit as far as the Celtics maybe being a bit more creative. Like you said, he's a ball player of not, a bit more attacking with the midfielders.
Speaking of ball players, here's Mulangwane.
But they have transformed him into a bit more central midfielder. Is Shikweni.
He does well on the ball, and he gives great passes beautifully. Formerly with Roses. worked with Clinton Larson when Larson was coaching that team, Roses, before getting the call to coach the Celtic. Talking about Busi Shukweni here, making today his sixth appearance. He started only 2 matches. Longane, good work from Toyana this time. He's been booked. Toyana, so he needs to be careful. Good stuff here from Celtic. They have enough numbers here. There could be something on here in Yatama. Once the return ball and a chance to shoot, yeah! Forces a save out of Kuzwayo.
A great save at that. The angle might have been a little bit tight, but let me tell you, if it's hit with that kind of venom, you can still beat a goalkeeper, considering that it went into the knee where it was a bit wide open for that ball to squeeze to. I'm sure this will give us a better angle.
Well, that was goal bound. He had to make a save there, Kuzwayo. Itumeleng Kune still on the bench after recovering. Well, that is just lame from Zuma. Now then, possibilities here again for Chiefs, but good work from Dube this time defensively. But it's been a solid this defensive display from Celtic. Chiefs are gonna make their final change, and it's Keegan Buchanan that's gonna come on, and a chance, yeah! Oh, the flag has stayed down, so he was onside. Brilliant save from Kuzwayo.
Well, for once, Chiefs were caught. This is the earlier attempt by Malila, who did very well to spin off the cluster of players. Gets himself way clear from everybody else, and then Nyatama here maybe should have done it with his left foot. So it wasn't quite open for that with the right foot take.
Getting a run now against his former club is Keegan Buchanan. And he has replaced George Manuleka, is it? Anyway, meantime, the Chiefs still have a difficult corner to defend against here. Again, it's another wayward effort from Zuma. There he is, Keegan Buchanan, who joined the Chiefs from Celtic, having spent 3 seasons with Celtic, having joined from FC Cape Town. Tonight making his 5th appearance in Chiefs colours, coming off the bench for the 3rd time. Look at that goal attempts there. The number is high, 11 to 8, but it's a little bit deceiving. The keepers have been, well, now the last couple of shots that Celtic have had have been they've tested, yes, well, they've been on target. They've tested Kuzwayo. So the last of those 3 shots on target from Celtic point of view, 2 of them have come in the last 5 minutes. More like the last 3 minutes, really. We are though into the last 10 minutes of the game. Now Razak tracking on the pace. He's done well here, Razak. And now excellent defending there from Lorenzo Coutinho. He had to get that right. He would otherwise commit a foul there. There would have been a penalty. But good pressure from Razak. Well, after that impressive win over Kaizer Chiefs, Chipa United are coming unstuck again. They're trailing by 1-0 now. Jabu Maluleke, the captain, has put Polokwane City in the lead. And that might well be a winner, given late into that game at the Peter Mokaba Stadium.
It's a team that is slowly coming together, Polokwane City. They've been picking up points, and they're sitting right in the middle of the table and looking to maybe climb into the top 8.
Something on here for Celtic. It's a disappointing effort from Musa Nyatama. We remind you of this record. Celtic have not beaten Chiefs since 2009. They've only ever achieved 2 away wins against Kaizer Chiefs, and that you have to go way back for that. For their last away win against Chiefs, that was in the pre-PSL days. This is again Chiefs trying to unlock that Celtic defense, all in vain, as that goes for the goal kick.
He's been brilliant, Tuve. Well, we talk about poor decision-making from Chirambadara, but sometimes if you're playing against a tough defender like Dube has been, they sometimes force you defenders to basically not have the time to think with much clarity.
Here's Parker pulling wide. This long unbeaten or long winless streak for Chiefs looks like continuing as we now less than 5 minutes. And he drops the mark. There's Kuzwayo. That would have been a knock-on. We're playing with the oblong ball rather than the round one. He wouldn't have been able to play fullback at Kuzwayo. Can't feel the high ball. Time running out here then for Chiefs to stop the rot and give their fans something to cheer about. A game that has offered very little by way of excitement for the fans. Now Masugu plays in Rasak as a man in the middle here. Just plays it behind Nyatama. The block is a good one. It's a great counter-attack from Celtic. Masugu again, looking lively out there. Masugu, well, Kuzwayo goes up to kick it away. And Shigwenya's shot is well off target.
With the wet conditions, obviously it's just recently started raining. Might have been difficult. He thought about going down, but if you think about the speed, it's always so difficult, I guess.
Crude but effective from brilliant Kuzwayo.
once again, once it takes that dip, I'm telling you, it can go anywhere.
Set gone for a corner, a throw in, and then rather, it's been such a great defensive effort from Celtic. You know, I mean, there was a plan here. They just wanted to. They didn't come here to mix it up, and the coach did say they're gonna. Bolungane, they had the handball. Referee missed. Cardoso whips it in too close to Tinyem. You can see they set up that like a team that wanted to just hold on to the point that they arrived here with, and it looks like that they might well make their way up the N1 again with that point. Or is there to be late drama here? Not like that, there won't be. So this is what would happen. Then the Chiefs would move up ever so slightly, one place up on the table above their bitter rivals Orlando Pirates, who were beaten last night by a very inspired Maritzburg United side, Steve Compella's former club, and of course the club of the man sitting in the back there, Mutaung and Son. Getting more questions and answers from their team's performance here tonight. So Chiefs, yeah, we just one up, and from as for Celtic,
I guess the big question that they have is it's clear that it's tough to find goals, and going forward, where are they going to come from? Because none of these players are standing up, are raising their hand to say, look, count me in. And there hasn't been. Goals have been scrappy.
Celtic are going to move above Ajax into 12th position. So clawing their way up the table. As we get to word that 4 minutes will now be added of stoppage time. Or additional time from the referee. Goals have been hard to come by tonight. We're a bit spoiled last night. 7 in 2 goals, 2 games. Tonight they haven't been quite as free-flowing. Only 4 goals in our 5 matches. Cross coming in, and a chance, could be a chance here for Chiefs. You want it? Now, a little bit of a body check there by Raman Patele on Masugu.
Let's look at exactly what happens. Tinyep scrambles across. It gets a vital touch to put off Parker, was on the far side. Maybe there was an opportunity for Parker to make a late run at the back.
So Celtic escape there, and now Tinyep can take a bit of time off the clock. Here's the thing now, William, is this for real now? Or is this the boy crying wolf again?
And of course, like you said, they might have appreciated all 3 points, but coming to Joburg and against Kaizer Chiefs, that's a far-fetched dream. And the point is massive. So if you can play this kind of act and make sure that they at least walk away with that point, why not?
We are tired of the draws. Well, certainly are heading for another one as things stand for Kaizer Chiefs. How will the crowd react to this? Well, we certainly don't want to see more of those ugly scenes that we've seen in previous matches. You see the fans starting to move closer to the pitch side now. It's hard times, it's tough times here if you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan. Heading for what will be the 6th draw, which will be equal with the number of teams on who've also played 6 draws. The most number of draws. There will be the joint most number of draws. 4 other teams have played 6 draws this season, and Chiefs are about to join them. And that long run without a win will be extended to 7 in the league. And 8 or 9 in all competitions. Well, you gotta say though, getting rid of the coach is not gonna solve anything. As it's time now for the reinforcements to come out. I believe some of the fans are singing Steve must go, but it seems the fans are divided, with some are supporting the coach. But as I said, William, Chiefs' problems are not in the coaching department.
If only these fans could realize that side of the story, that will help to calm their nerves down. And
they're only 7 points off the top, by the way, our Chiefs.
That's what I was saying.
Worth remembering.
The situation is made to look very bad. To think that a win could take them that much close.
Yes, indeed. A win would have moved them to within 4 points of the log leaders.
We are 100% behind Steve. That's the message we are talking about. Very, very divided.
A divided house of Amakos. Into the last 10 seconds of time, according to which the referee had indicated. A draw, it seems inevitable. Mulawan, maybe one last throw of the dice for Chiefs here. Maybe not. Time is up according to our clock, down to Lwandile Mfiki now. Our match referee. Chiefs, when the referees allowing more time here. I'm sure Celtic will not be pleased if Chiefs were to score now. They would feel that the whistle should have gone. He's had a look at his watch now as Mfiki, but still allows play to continue. Masugu comes away with it for Celtic. And now another look at another glance at the watch, but he still plays on.
You think these are moments to hang that ball into the box with time running out?
Still knocking it around. Yeah, they still want to score the pretty goal. You'd think that they would have a Matoho in the box there now and just hang it in there and hope for something. Oh, the referee is finding more time here from somewhere. He's played nearly 2 minutes of additional or extra time to that which he indicated. But there you go now. There it is. It's another draw for Kaizer Chiefs. And the frustration continues.